Okay, so this is Craig Howard, owner of CrossFit Diablo. Um, and I put this to the YouTube, so it just goes to our gyms. But Craig, how old's your gym?
We got started. The gym itself is 18 years old. It got started in 2005. We've been affiliated since the beginning of 2006.
Damn.
Yeah.
How many members you
We're at about 475 members right now.
got? Fuck. How what's your arm on those members? If you had to
Um,
guess it.
I would say that that's probably about $275 per member per month.
Dollars?
Yeah,
My Lord. See, this is the fun. It's funny because we would never dream of charging that.
right.
But I don't see why, like, there's got to be some sort of cost analysis, how much more stuff costs over there. There's no way that if you gave those numbers over here, that your average revenue per member is only going to be like 100. Like it
Yeah,
still have to be. It's probably close to 200, I would say. If
yeah.
your average revenue per member in California is 275, I'm guessing we would get a 200. Bill, am I wrong on that? Do you think? Like,
That's where we are, just under.
okay, so yeah, so that's Ohio.
But
That's
we don't do a lot of retail. Like, Craig, what's that 275? Is that all class, or do you have a lot?
That's class, that's private coaching, that's a small group private coaching, and it's retail as well.
And
That we add into
my unlimited? I think I'm pretty much the same as everybody around. I'm 185 a month. What's your just classes? No extra.
Yeah, so unlimited is $228 a month.
Okay, so there, Andrew, I think there's your delta there.
Yeah,
Here and there, because I know I've tested. I couldn't get to 25 a month for just
yeah,
class. But
yeah.
nobody bought it.
and
Right.
okay. That's a subject that's I'm particularly sensitive about because we have the privilege of being around a long time, and that gives you market value. Someone walks in my gym and how long you been open, they see the sign right in the lobby, it says since 2005, and instantly it's okay, well, if these guys been open since 2005, they must be doing something right. And so you get some credibility there with the age of your affiliate. I imagine it would be difficult for someone that's only been open a year or two to be able to charge these types of prices. You would have to impress them with more than that, which we try to do as well. But I think there needs to be a fundamental shift in thinking as to it. And I don't know, Andrew, is it okay for me to just start to talk?
Absolutely.
I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off topic.
They've been listening to me talk for years.
Oh, okay. But in terms of value, and this is something that I'm spending time with my coaches, especially my younger coaches who feel guilty about charging more than $100 an hour for private coaching. And this is changing. And having the discussion with customers about the value of what we do and what it's worth to them. And it hit home with me when I was at the Masters competition in Birmingham last week or 2 weekends ago. And I watched, I was there on the floor for the first workout one really cool thing that they did there is they would essentially parade the athletes out through the group of people there on their way from the warm-up area to the floor that they were training on. And this happened throughout the day. You'd see age group or various different age groups. And I happened to be there when the 70-plus-year-old women were coming out. And they were walking out, and as they came walking out, they almost strutted. Oh,
you just happened to be there. You're a cougar chaser. That's what you are.
As they come out, what's really cool is they come out, and I noticed them from a distance, and I realized, oh, shit, these women are all 70 years old. And they walked and strutted literally, like if you're from the other side of the room, you look and you go, those women are probably 30, 35 years old. Most of them had tights on, some of them almost crop, on the booty shorts and crop tops, and they kind of had a saunter like this. And everybody was, high-fiving them, saying stuff. People were videoing them as they're walking by. And the thing that resonated with me is I thought, the difference between that and say the average person, not just the average 70-year-old, the average person. And then I thought about the average 70-year-old, especially if I just came from the airport, so I was witness to that. And then I thought about for a moment, what is that worth? What's that feeling worth that they have as they're walking out through that floor of people, that tremendous sense of pride that they all have every time they get asked, "You're how old? I can't believe you started this call with Craig. I can't believe how old you are." You know what, that's a really good feeling inside for someone like me who's 61, and I'm proud to tell people now I'm 61. I love dropping that bomb on people. And my wife, who's 62 and was competing with that group of women and watching what they could do. What's that worth? What's it worth for the client, my client Saul, who lost 100 pounds, over 100 pounds in just over a year, and went from being this literally morbidly obese individual to a very svelte, athletic looking man and then rode. While I was there at Birmingham, by the way, his coach Jackson texted me, goes, "Dude, did you see Saul rode a 2K at 7:16?" Rode a 2K, and this guy's in his 50s, and he went from being a kind of a non-athlete, obese individual to this sudden athlete. What's that worth? And I think what we're not doing a good job of in our affiliates is we lose that confidence because people price us versus the Planet Fitnesses, the 24 Nautiluses, the local gym down the street that all offer, $15 a month memberships or private coaching for $50 an hour. And we price it versus what we do to transform lives. And in this story I'm starting to tell, and when I've told it to people that have come into the gym and they say it's 228, and I'll go, hang on a second, I want you to feel like what it's going to feel like a year from now. What's that worth to you to not have to take those medications? What's it worth to you to feel like you're lighter and more fit? What's it going to feel like when you can pick your kids up, not even thinking about it, or your kids see you, or your friends go, "Holy shit, dude, you look amazing." That's worth a lot of money.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you sell. I mean, I don't think he just told a story, and it's just so deep on that. But Craig, I do wonder, this is a skill because you tell stories well. It's a skill. You and I are very outspoken. We'll get to that later. But do you podcast about your own members? Because so when I heard you speak right there, I wanted to hear that story in depth with that person.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Do you do that?
Yep. Yeah, I do. And what's great is within our communities, you really talk to them and get to know them. And something that I kick myself sometimes for not digging in and finding people's stories. Tomorrow I do an hour long podcast. It's a small audience, but tomorrow we have on Lisa Himmel, and Lisa Himmel has probably since her early teens, she's in her early 30s now, but since her late teens, she's had a severe eating disorder, anorexia, bulimia, and she battles it, and she's had relapses, and she had a relapse recently, 6 months ago, and she's kind of worked her way back from it, but she's going to be on tomorrow talking about that.
Have you found the ROI? Have you found the ROI on the investment in your time for the podcast pays off, or is it just something you feel is right for the community?
A little of both. I think the ROI on it has kept me in it. We're almost at 100. I started out like, each one, because there's setup time, and fortunately now for podcasts, there's applications like StreamYard, for example. And if you don't know about StreamYard, you should. Just makes it so easy. Just click, you set it up, go, and it makes it real easy for people to participate. What's cool is you can link it to YouTube or Facebook and broadcast. And that's what we do, is we link it to a YouTube and to our Facebook group. And so members see it. But people, Andrew, the long answer to that obviously is that I have members come up to me and go, really enjoyed it. We drove up to Oregon, and it was a 12-hour drive, and we listened to 2 of the podcasts. It was awesome. Like, okay, it's worth it. It's there is a return on the investment, more engagement.
So, all right, so let's switch gears here a little bit. You're also I'm supposed to know this shit so well. You're what's the proper term?
Affiliate council member.
Yeah,
you're affiliate council member. Yeah,
you're a council member.
I'm a former region manager. I got fired by CrossFit as a region manager.
Well, you got rehired as a council, which is arguably more important.
More important for CrossFit because they don't have to pay me to be on the council.
Right. Oh yeah, payment. So I think what I find funny is you and I have this deep connection. Wish we got to drink more at the games, but I think you and I feel the same way. We're annoyed about shit, There's things we disagree with, even that go on within the company. Not afraid to say that.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, we love the methodology.
That's correct.
We love what it does, and we don't like other people trying to just completely bash it and focus on the negativity pieces. That's true.
Yes.
What I don't know. Why have you just not bailed? Why have you just not said, "Hey, I'm fed up with stuff. I'm XYZ." And I'm sure that's kind of a long answer. You can go as deep as you want into it, but like, why have you stayed with this thing so long?
It's interesting because there's almost a pivotal moment about a year or two ago when I started thinking about Dave Castro and Nicole Carroll, who also have stayed on through all of these monumental changes, and people were lamenting the acquisition by a private equity company of CrossFit and what that meant, and CrossFit's not going to be the same. And so I started thinking back. And Andrew, how long have you been with CrossFit?
I started seminar staff in 2013.
Oh, okay. All right. So you've been around long enough. So, what I found is I started going back and looking at all of the different things that, that have impacted. I was thinking in particular about Nicole Carroll. I'm like, God damn, why, how does she maintain energy? How does she, keep her interest and keep it all going? One of the things obviously is our community, right? My own personal community at Diablo CrossFit and those members. One, they're disconnected from all of that, right? They're within their universe here at Diablo CrossFit. Very few know about really what's going on in detail behind the CrossFit HQ, the departure of a CEO, the changing of a CEO, or anything that's going on at HQ. What they know about that is what they might read in Morning Chalk Up if they're on that mailing list. And even then, they probably don't read it, or it doesn't really apply to them. Their universe is here at Diablo CrossFit, and they see the changes that CrossFit brings to them. So I feel that sense of obligation to continue and stay consistent with what I've talked to them about over so many years, and what I introduce them to when they come into our gym, or what my coaches introduce them to. So I feel a sense of obligation there to continue that and be consistent and congruent with that. But the second part is, as I went through and I started thinking about Nicole Carroll, I thought about all the shit that she's endured over the years. And the amazing positive thing, obviously so many amazing positive things, but there's been some monumental pivotal moments within CrossFit, beginning with the very public divorce of Greg Glassman and Lauren Glassman, and the offer of a buyout from a venture capitalist firm, Anthos Capital. And I don't know if you remember any of that. It was very public. There was public records made. It was a little bit gross. And Greg stood up to that and fought that and prevented it and kept ownership of that. But during that time, it was hard for the HQ employees. They weren't sure what was going to happen. And then when the news and information started coming out about it, it was uncomfortable. And then of course, as we went a little bit further along, there was a change in CEOs. We went from Greg Glassman, and he appointed Jeff Kane as CEO. And then Jeff Kane, one of the first things he did was come in 2018, and he reported on the financial structure of the company. And Greg made severe cutbacks to the games and the regionals and everything else. And they changed it dramatically, took away a lot of it, and let go a lot of the staff at CrossFit, the media staff. And these are people that they had deep relationships with. I used to go down to HQ and I'd walk through there, and it was really cool. It was that classic tech company that, people would ride through the building on skateboards, because it was that big. Yeah. And there's ping pong tables. Cool. It was really cool.
And your date, Mark, the thing, I want you to keep going, but you said 2018.
Yeah.
I feel like people, like anytime you get into an argument, like with a spouse or something, the timelines are forgotten.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when did this happen? Oh, it was before. Oh, it happened while something. It's like 2018 is when this started to happen. This is before what you're about to get to, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember going to a function up there, one of the DDS meetings, and talking to Nicole Carroll and walking through the building after it had happened. And that's when they were taking all the furniture out and everything else. And I asked her personally, I said, Nicole, how you doing? Like, all these people that you knew. She goes, it's really tough to come to the office and to see all the empty desks and all the faces gone. And they needed to make those changes for the company to thrive. But then, then you remember they removed CrossFit from social media. And that was a big blow to mostly to affiliates, because we all of a sudden lost that exposure online. And I understood all the reasons behind it, and I supported it, but it was, again, that was tough. And then, of course, then we had the infamous tweet that caused a severe backlash within the company, and then the sale of the company, and all of these things keep. And I remember, I go back, I'm like, holy shit! Like every 2 to 4 years, there's something really dramatic up here that we know about as affiliate owners, and my coaches kind of know about it, but for the most part, the members are almost unawares. And they continue to make gains. They continue to make progress. They continue to have amazing successes. We host the Open. It's an awesome event. We do our own events, our own charity events. It's still incredible. And the methodology continues to work. And it kind of gave me the realization that CrossFit is not what happens at HQ. And I say this now with kind of tongue in cheek. I almost don't care what happens at HQ anymore. What I really care about is what's happening in the affiliates and in amongst affiliate owners. CrossFit is the affiliate owners. We are the indoctrination centers for the methodology. We bring people in, we teach them the methodology. We go, hey, go get your level 1. I just took 3 coaches, or I needed coaches, and I took 3 people and I said, hey, go get your L1. 2 of them I paid for, because I said, well, I don't think I can afford it. Okay, I'll pay for it. And I've got 3 new coaches from my own community that I sent to level 1. So I'm helping the certification program for CrossFit to help fund training. We're training. I got athletes that are doing competitions. I had like 7 athletes do the the Northern California Classic competition this last weekend. We've got athletes that make it to the next level of competition, the Open. I'm helping fund the games, right? All of this stuff is happening as a result of the affiliates. We are CrossFit. We are supplying the supporting the methodology, the training, and the affiliates and the games. All of it. We're doing all of it. And it really kind of gave me the realization that it almost doesn't matter what happens up here, as long as we are behind this and we can preserve the methodology, we can uphold the standard. The affiliates are essentially the North Star for all of this.
Do you get any pushback on that? Do you get any pushback that your virtue seeking positivity or something, if that makes sense?
No, not yet. I'm sure probably behind the scenes there's a bit of it. I've gotten a little bit of it from, I got, pushback from some of the negative folks online. And there's interesting.
Yeah, but they don't own affiliates. And that's the number one thing.
That's right.
I'm not even hating on, this is zero back talk, but at the end of the day, if you don't own an affiliate right now in 2024-ish, going on 2025, you have absolutely no idea. You have absolutely no clue. You weren't around when Orange Zero was around. You weren't around when that. You were around in the great times. And if you were around in the great times and it's still, you end up getting out of it, that's fine too. Like there's nothing bad about that. It's just, I think that
the irony of all of it is the largest pundits that have the biggest viewing audiences on YouTube and elsewhere aren't affiliate owners. They don't belong to an affiliate. Some of them don't even do CrossFit, or they're past affiliate owners, or they're past they're ex-athletes, and it's easy from the outside to kind of look in and point fingers at and find the stuff that that generates views and likes and all of those things. But all of those things, I will tell you this, and I've cut my because some of them are friends and will remain friends, but they serve to undermine the foundation of what we're doing, right? Because is some of that negativity creeps out into our communities. We get questions we have to deal with. We get issues we have to deal with, and it helps undermine what we're doing in the affiliates. And that's why my biggest push now is, and I tell people it's up to us. And what's interesting, Andrew, is I've said that phrase to a number of times, and I'm going to post more about it. Is that it's up to us. It means it's up to us, the OGs. It's up to us, the affiliate owners. It's up to us to preserve the methodology and keep this going. My $4,500 that I'm going to pay, look, all I'm hoping is that keeps the lights on, keeps this, keeps CrossFit out in the public place in a positive way. That's really all I hope for. Right? Keeps us, the affiliate owners, together, because as a unifying force, fucking amazing. It's really, really powerful. And But I've said that phrase to a number of affiliate owners. I said it to, when I was at the Masters thing, I said it to a couple of people. As a matter of fact, I just saw Becca Voigt, who's an affiliate owner in Southern California, but also 10 times game athlete, and Christian Clever, who was there as well. And I walked by him and I said, hey, thanks for being here. Glad you guys. And they're, oh yeah, this is awesome. And Becca was competing again on a team. But one of the things I did right before I walked away from him was said, it's up to us. And she looked and she stopped. She goes, yeah, it is up to us. And that's something that I'm telling affiliate owners. It's up to us to continue. It's up to us to continue to make this strong.
Dude, let's make a shirt. Gee, Craig, you gotta make a shirt. So hear me out. I'm super weird hipster. We make a shirt, all right, and then we put all the proceeds in what's called a DAO, and then I just take over the DAO and start investing in the most degenerate meme coins ever. And either we're gonna all of a sudden become fucking millionaires and we share it with all of the people, or it goes to zero and you have a cool shirt. I don't know if that's legal on securities laws. I don't know. Funny enough,
I love that.
My biggest win is I've sold a lot of weird meme coins in my life, but my best one was $150 throw in, and it ballooned to $18,000. And I didn't sell that one because I said, this is gonna go to the moon. I'm gonna do one of these stories that I can't wait to just leave one day. I would never leave my job, but I would wake up and be like, you know what? And it made a $150 investment, went to $2 million. If you were in our area, Craig, I guess I'm trying to bring, because we can just rap all day, and then I want to give people a chance to come on and chat. If you were in our area, what we have in the Midwest is lower rent.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's lower. You could only dream what we get compared to you. And then we do have blue collar people. If you were opening a gym out here, is there anything you would do different? Or like, would you try to buy your building? Like, would that be something you go into off rip? Because it is a different type of people. Like, full disclosure, you go to Cincinnati, Ohio, or whatever. I mean, you're not going to get the same stuff you get in California. You're going to get really bad weather, a lot of mosquitoes. You're going to freeze half the year. But you're going to get people who really work hard. Like, they don't fucking, they're zero pansiness. Not that that's like California. That probably came off that way, but you know what I meant.
I know 100% what you mean. Yeah. And my advice would be similar to like the one that someone gave me, or someone got from their father. I talked to an affiliate owner in Wyoming, and he said the first thing his dad told him was, yeah, make sure, you get your own piece of property, and you try as fast as possible to own that piece of property. And that's one of the things so I'm 18 years into this. The asset that I have, which is valuable, is my membership base, and then all of the equipment. And now over 18 years, I have a brand associated with Diablo, so it has some street cred here in our local area, right? So that's the asset, and the valuation on that is, that's an argument almost between me and whoever the buyer might be, whenever we decide that we want to leave the business. But having an asset, like a fixed asset, a piece of real estate, is so tremendously powerful. And it's essentially the investment fund that I have to make separately outside of Diablo to hold something that's much more tangible. There's nothing better in business, I think.
Do you own your own building? I feel like I asked you that at some point.
No.
Okay.
There's nothing, but I paid, well over $1 million in rent over the, 18 years. More than that, right? Maybe a couple million now.
Unreal. Isn't that crazy?
Yes, it is. And I wish, at hindsight, I would have, worked harder to try and figure out a way to buy it. But this was, 2006, 2007, when we weren't sure where any of this was going.
Right.
But I would encourage now at this stage of CrossFit, if for a new affiliate or any affiliate owner, figure out how to get your own building. This isn't going anywhere. CrossFit isn't going, like, it has too long of history and tenure. No matter what happens all the way at the top and who they sell it to, if they sell it or if they hang on to it, either way, it doesn't matter. It's got such history, and the methodology is so established and so proven that it will be here a long time. It is worth making an investment in a building, paying yourself rent. And then when you decide to sell the business, or you can keep the business, or let a coach take it over and pay you rent.
What's the
have
one
that
tool
asset.
what's the tool we're missing then? What's the tool we're missing as business owners? I try to figure this out all the time. And I never think it's coaching. I never think it's care. I think we do a ton of that. I think it's sometimes I think it's business literacy. Like you can look up at these little screens. I don't know if you can see like this guy, Chris, he's got the Michigan freaking Wolverine. Guy has his, you know, he's got big expenses, big payroll. He also owns another business that does really well. Like it's so I think, I talk to him offline all the time. It's like, wait, he knows business very well. Doesn't make him a douche. It does not make you a douchebag if you know about business. Or Danielle, who's next to him on my screen, like she bought the gym from someone, I think. Didn't she buy your gym? But you're doing all the, like she's making it a legitimate business.
Yeah.
David Bolin here, CrossFit Vigilance, he owned some giant company at some point and sold it. But this is not a CrossFit company. But it just loves the methodology. Like these are the people that we get on all the time. And I love it. But I don't know what we're missing in CrossFit to like every time we try to do something, this is the consensus. We should do less better. Like, oh, hey, we put out this thing, we put out that thing. It just seems to all not suck, but like, I don't know. Like, what's one thing? And if you ask Bill, sorry, I'll in a second. If you ask Bill, I couldn't agree more with him. What's the number one thing we can do is get owners together. To keep doing things together. Because that's like, I don't know, it just charges us all up. Everyone's always willing to hand out. We have a Facebook group now where like 100 of these gyms are in it. And like, if somebody misses something on the call and they ask questions, somebody responds. Like, I know that seems small and dumb, but I don't know what can we do? Like, do you have anything?
Yeah, a couple. There's a whole bunch there that jump to mind.
Give it.
First of all, in relationship to what should we do as individual affiliate owners, and what's the one thing that's missing? And I've said this to HQ. The one thing that's missing is the business training. What makes us great as coaches, and most of us start as coaches, is also undermines us as business owners, the caring, the compassion, and being able to relate to people. Business owners typically are more unemotional, right? They're making business decisions to help the survival of the organization, and they're not, they take the emotion out of it and the relationship out and the caring out of it, and they're more thoughtful about, I got to make sure my rent doesn't exceed this amount. I got to make sure that my employees are paid this amount. Otherwise, I'm going to get in trouble. I got to make sure that my commission rates are these levels. All of those things are somewhat missing in the kind of playbook for affiliate owners. One of the things that, I had a lot of business experience, like the gentleman you talked about. I had a lot of business experience prior to coming into being an affiliate owner. I've had human resource training, human resource training, just as an example. That's one. If I look at my mentor calls that I've done over the last couple of years, I would say 75% of them have to do with human resource issues. How do I handle this coach? What do I do about this coach that wants to leave? What do I do about, this coach that's not making enough money? Those issues are really, really important. I've had human resources training and management, and I think that's something that's missing. I would encourage all affiliate owners. You may not think it's worth it, but go through a good training program and you'll come away from it going, oh, okay, here's what I can do to help manage that process. And then business management, the basic accounting, business accounting, for example, is absolutely essential. Coming back to what you said, what's the one thing CrossFit can do? I absolutely agree with getting together. One of the things that we did in the early days was we spent time together a lot. There's local competitions, which brought us together. Myself, Kelly Starrett and Juliet Starrett own CrossFit San Francisco. TJ Belger, an OG, owns TJ's gym. And then Jason Kalipa, who owned at the time NorCal CrossFit. We would get together once a quarter with our spouses and just kind of sit and shoot the shit and talk business and stuff like that. It just became a thing we did. But from those meetings, one, it was a little bit of, there's a little bit of competitive nature to it. When they were doing certain things that I wasn't, fuck, I need to do that. But the other thing was, like, Juliet Starrett is the one that counseled me. She goes, dude, stop paying your coaches as independent contractors. You're going to get, you're going to pay a massive penalty, and then you're going to get shut down if they want you to. And she helped me with that process. When we went into going into the pandemic, when you had the opportunity to get the PPP loans and the EIDL stuff, she's the one that helped guide me and we found together, the four of us, we found banks that could actually do that stuff for us as affiliate owners and do it efficiently. So that getting people together, and this call you're doing, that's huge, because that kind of connection is awesome. But you also get, even just, I went to the NorCal Classic. We have the Masters competition. I walked around it, dude, just a fist bump and a how you doing and a hug, and I'm like, hang in there. I really like what you guys are doing. It just, there's something about that keeps you in the game. So
Absolutely.
so I agree with you. Like, forcing yourself to interact with other affiliate owners is really big. I've told, Katie Hogan and others at CrossFit, hey, when you do those region meetings, like I'm going to one this weekend, make sure there's lots of free time, lots of time when the affiliate owners can get together and talk.
Yeah. So we got really lucky, and I will make it. I would rather get fired than not get really lucky again. So what happened at ours was everyone got sick or something. I don't know. I was kind of on my own, and somehow just like rock hard muscle set everything up, like went for it. And then I found out that there was a bar right next door, and I used the remaining budget just to buy. I went in, I was like, dude, tomorrow at like 5 p.m. Can we get like, I'm gonna give you all this money, and can you just fill up all these drinks? And I don't know, they were confusing me, but essentially, like, if we didn't have we had an after party, and it was really fun. It was really fun. And but if we didn't have that, I would have felt it wouldn't have been great, because it's so jam packed during the day with this, and then, there's great information, but at the end of the day, I agree with you. People want to be able to connect with the owners and just talk shop, drink some coffee, and then, have little coffee breaks in between. But I really like the concept of getting a dinner and stuff after too. So I'm going to make sure. The goal is we're gonna probably be at Rogue in February, but they're also not responding super quickly, so I don't know what's going on there. But I
compare it to just being a CrossFitter. There's some of us that can do it by ourselves alone in the garage, but not me.
No.
I love going to class, and
Yeah.
my fitness is much, much better as a result of doing it with other people. And I think affiliate ownership, there's some comparisons there.
Yeah.
You got people to compete with.
Yeah, there's 5 minutes left, or typically, because my goal is finish on time. No, we normally do 45. So you guys got any questions for California Craig, or anything you just want to say? Otherwise, I'll take the last 5 minutes, but you go. Anyone?
I would have to agree with the business education thing. I think it's sorely lacking, and I wish CrossFit would kind of step in and regulate that a little more, because it really doesn't help our brand to have people that don't know what they're doing out there.
Yeah, and I think that's the concept, Chris, was with the level 2, like we've talked about before. But if myself, a few other people and players sat in a room and did business education that followed the level 1, because once we've done 300 seminars like I have, you can literally use everything in level 1 terms. Like you can tie what is CrossFit together with like a P&L sheet, just something weird. Like you can make stuff that feels good, because that's the only things we accept now. If it's not measurable, go ahead.
I got a comment about the education. I don't really think CrossFit's ever going to do that. But there's so much information out there already. Like, I'm not picking favorites, but I'll use Chris Cooper. So I don't use him. So, but I've followed his stuff forever. I've met him several times. He's awesome. He's got so much free stuff that he gives away that you don't even have to pay his monthlies yet. But I think it's a priority for an affiliate owner that doesn't have the business experience to just get the discipline to say, look, at just an hour or 2 a week, I'm going to go through and look at some of his basic stuff. And if you don't like Cooper, Brower's got, if you can handle Brower's persona, he's got great info. These best hour of the day guys, Jason, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm with Will Hurst. My wife is with Healthy Stuff Nutrition. We pay, and we're better for it. And I had 25 years of business experience before I opened my affiliate 18 years ago. But I still made every mistake anybody could ever make. And since we got mentors and said, let's stop being cheap and trying to do it ourselves, we've been better. We just work much better. So if an affiliate owner doesn't have a mentor, I'd strongly suggest it, or at least suck up as much of it. Just pick one.
Yeah.
Best hour, and just absorb it all. And then if you decide you can afford to pay them, you'll already be a little bit ahead. You'll have a lot of their basic knowledge.
Hey,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Sure, I'm leaving somebody out. I don't mean to.
No, you're.
No.
Yeah, go ahead, Craig.
Best hour. But Ben Bergeron, listen to every Ben Bergeron podcast he's ever made. The guy's genius, and he's always short. They're 30 minutes. He doesn't go off on tangents. I've learned a lot from him, and I'll second that. Extra time at those events. My wife and I went to the Chicago Summit for Two Brain in June, and it was so well done. They had great speakers. They just had too many. If Chris asked me what I would change, is give me an hour or half hour each morning and afternoon to just hang out with people and kind of let what I just learned sink in.
Yeah.
I was overloaded at the end of the day. I mean, we drove back. My brain, my central nervous system was on overload. It was good, but they needed break time.
Yeah.
So what Craig said is absolutely 100% correct.
What you can say, Craig?
Yeah, I think, Andrew, I think the thing, I was just thinking about it, the thing to do, I think, for us is to maybe provide a list that affiliate owners could access for, hey, HR training, here's 1 to 2, YouTube mentors that you can hear, for business practices, here's what you can do. And all the ones that Bill listed, by the way, are awesome. And then, but same thing for all of the different various business practices, just a list. Affiliate owners, we don't need CrossFit to do it for us, but it would be really helpful if it was drilled down to like, here's the ones you can go to that are trusted. By the way,
director,
like
a
a
director.
guide. That's a great idea. Like a study guide they have for them.
Yeah.
Here's a study guide.
Yeah, like the AED thing yesterday. You guys helped that owner out tremendously. CrossFit Toledo, man, such an old school gym. They are like, hey, I need an AED, and I need it now. I just threw it in our Facebook group and got like 9 different things, and boom, done. Like if we had an area where it's like some sort of app. JD, you should be listening to this one for sure. Put a subsection in there like best AEDs, best human resources training, voted by the best, voted by affiliates who are success, like best business, best payroll, best apps. But then again, you probably have so many you'd have to put in, but who fucking cares? If everything's in one place, I'll go through stuff. What I don't like doing is jumping around, and I got to open this browser and go here. Like if I have something that just is like best apps, cool. At least I'm still there, and I just hit back and go, okay, AEDs, boom, flooring. I mean, we could literally do everything. I don't know. That's a good idea.
It's easy. Easy. By the way, Bill's a fucking legend, OG. So if you want advice and information on how to do this, contact that guy.
Bill doesn't miss a call. Not
what I regrets, maybe it's the wrong word, but we met briefly at the 10-year, and I wish I would have spent more time talking to you.
Likewise.
I was the guy with the cane. I was the guy with the cane. But I'm good now.
Yeah.
But thank you.
All right, guys. Well, Wikipedia. Yeah, we could. That's a good idea. You just start a Wikipedia page and put it anonymous.
Maybe we can start, like if in our group that you made on Facebook.
Yeah.
Each one of us, like just put 1 or 2 things, either it was a podcast or an article or somebody from one of these online mentors, something that was just really valuable to you.
Well, what we could do, Bill?
You could just start.
We could just start a Google Sheet. I hate Google Sheets, by the way, but we could just start one Google Sheet, and then every once in a while, it could just be
So the easy way would be to people to post it in that group, and then you on the back end make a Google sheet. And you
That's true.
It's like a funnel. So this way you don't have to do anything today. We could just this afternoon pop something in.
Yeah, I like that. The
And
part about
builds an inventory. Then somebody here is going to say, oh, I know. Now you're giving me content. I'll see how I can arrange it and organize it.
right.
But for now, use what we got.
Yeah,
I'll
Right.
start. I'll throw a couple things in there tonight or tomorrow that have been
throw 'em.
that have been really good. Keep it business wise, not coaching,
Yep.
not just like Craig's human resource stuff, staff management, money management.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I love
that's
it.
a great idea.
That'd be great. Yeah.
And
You know what? Just throw it in, and then it'd be cool. It'd be cool. You know what I'd love to do, Bill, is I'd love to send that out to all gyms. So one thing that I don't, I'm over, we'll drop in a second, but one thing that I don't do, as you guys know, I don't send a ton of emails. I am the least rep email sender because I think they're dumb. They're not so dumb, but like at the end of the day, if I don't have anything really valuable to say or give, then we won't do it. But my goal is if somebody they want a connection, we talk, or they hop on this call. I only like building this. And it's built our region to be the most successful when it comes to engagement. And success is obvious. Like, yeah, we live in a part of the country where people are going to stay open easier versus California, et cetera. But I would love to send that out to everyone, Bill. If we can get 30 things,
Yeah.
once 30 hits, I'm sending it to everybody. Fucking click, sent. But hey, Craig, thank you very much, man. I hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it, man. That was fun. Thanks,
Good to see you
guys.
Thanks, Craig.
Yeah.